There was once a king, many years ago, that had 2 children, 2 sons. And unfortunately, like sometimes, the 2 brothers didn't get along. They were fighting. They were always fighting. You see, this king had a problem. When he's going to die and he wants his kids to take over, they should become the king, 2 kings. If they're going to be fighting around the whole time, the whole kingdom is going to fall apart. You can't have a king that's fighting around. So what is he going to do? He tried like this and he tried like that. What is he going to do if the brothers are not getting along? So he came up with an idea. Listen to this idea. He decided he's going to send his 2 children, his 2 boys, he's going to send them far away. Let's call it to like a 3rd world country. Some village that is barely running water. To get food, you can't just go to the grocery. You have to plant vegetables. What was his plan about it? Plant tomatoes, exactly. Plant pickles. Anyways, the 2 brothers were sent. The 2 brothers were sent far out to a place that nobody knew them. No one knew that they were the king's children. And what was the king's idea to send them over there? Because if they go to this place and the only way of survival is going to be by them getting potatoes and tomatoes, they have to work together. They're going to learn how to get along. They're going to learn how to get along. So he sent them to this faraway place. About a month later, he wanted to get an idea of what's going on. Is this plan working? Are they actually working together? Are they getting along? He sent one of his advisors, undercover, not dressed up like an advisor, to check out what's going on in that town. Are the 2 brothers getting along? What he was shocked to see, the king, was that the 2 brothers were competing between each other. One brother was friends with the water carrier, and the other brother was the friends with the one who has the flour. And this one got more water, and this one got more flour. They were competing between each other. And the king was very, very bothered. The reason he sent them there was not to make themselves comfortable and figure out how to get more water from the water carrier. The idea was that they should get along, the 2 brothers, and come right back into the king's palace. Hashem sent us out of Yerushalayim into Galus, into Bavel, into Iraq, into Europe, into America. Do you know why? The Gemara tells us why. Why did Hashem send us out of Yerushalayim? The Gemara says that even though at the time they were learning Torah and they were doing mitzvah, says the Gemara. However, there was sinas chinam. Us brothers weren't getting along. We weren't getting along together. So the Eibusha sent us out of Yerushalayim. You know why he sent us out of Yerushalayim? When we're in Galus, when you're in a faraway place, your survival is with getting along with the people around you. So the Eibusha put us in Galus that we should get along. That's why he put us in Galus. Not that we should figure out how to be more comfortable, who has a better bike, and fight around. We're here in Galus for one purpose. The Eibusha wants us to get along. Once we get along, the Eibusha is going to bring us right back home. Just like the king wanted, what did the king want? The king wanted that the brothers should learn how to get along, and then he brings them right back home. Does anybody know how many years we're in Galus since the Churban Bais Sheni? Anybody?
No.
Close to 2,000 years. Under 2,000. Just to illustrate the Chassam Sofer every year when he spoke around the days of Tisha B'Av, he used to give an exact number. And the reason, so a person should be able to connect. It's not just around 2,000 years ago. It was 1,957 years ago. Like we said, the Churban Abayis happened. Why? Mipnei sinas chinam, people didn't get along. I want to share with you all an amazing story that drives this point home. There was somebody from Bnei Barak that was marrying off his son to somebody from Monsey, here in Monsey. So where do you make the wedding? You have to make it in one of the places. The wedding was here in Monsey, right here in Monsey. This story happened about 20 years ago. Because it was in Monsey, one of the previous Vishnitzer Rebbe's children, which is now, he's one of the Rebbes, the Vishnitzer Rebbe of Monsey, Ramatullah, his son, one of his sons, Rabbi Lezer Hager, he came to the wedding to wish Mazel Tov. So he goes over to the Mechutin, meaning to say is to the one from Bnei Barak, and he tells him, he goes over to give him Mazel Tov. Listen to what the Chassan's father tells him. Nobody called you. It was in Yiddish. Keiner hat nicht geriefen. Nobody called you. He wished Mazel Tov. When he was leaving the wedding, he noticed that there's a big commotion going on. And he was wondering, what is going on? What's going on? What's the tumult? What's going on? So his Gabbai told him that people overheard how the Mechutin told you, nobody called you. You're not invited. In other words, like the story of Kamsa bar Kamsa, what the Gemara says, the Churban happened because somebody was told that he's not invited. That's the commotion. That was the whole tumult. So you know what he said? You know why he said nobody called me? Let me explain. This person from Bnei Barak is my friend. He came for the wedding, not knowing a lot of people. He has arrangements to take care of. And back then, it wasn't so common as much as now that everybody has cell phones. It wasn't so easy to get a phone. This person from Bnei Barak asked his friend, one of the current Vishnitzer Rebbes, if I could borrow, if you have somebody, could I get a phone to borrow? So he said, sure, you could borrow my phone. I have a phone. I have a cell phone. But you should know, I help out people with doctors. It's very known. He's very well connected to doctors. People call him. He has very serious connections to doctors. So people call me all the time on my cell phone. Do me a favor. If people call, you're going to have my cell phone. If people call, tell them that I don't have the cell phone, and I'll give it back to me tomorrow. They should call me back. Take a message. Says the Vishnitzer Rebbe, when he came and I gave him Mazel Tov, when he said nobody called you, he didn't mean to say nobody invited me. He was telling me, I have your cell phone, and nobody called today. Today was a quiet day. No one needed a doctor. How much you see, you have to be Dan lekaf zechus. This is a lesson all the time. This is a little bit interesting and crazy. He said clearly nobody called you. Nobody invited you. The Teretz says you have to be Dan lekaf zechus. The Yesod v'Shoresh Avodah says the two biggest essence of Ben Adam L'Chaver is v'Hafta L'Recha Kamoicha, to love somebody, love each other. And the number two is to be Dan L'Kaf Schus. To Dan L'Kaf Schus is the only way a person can love somebody. He says if a person doesn't have the tool of being Dan L'Kaf Schus, it's not possible to be Makayim v'Hafta L'Recha Kamoicha. Only if you're Dan L'Kaf Schus. There's always a story that you think that he didn't invite you, he didn't tell you, he said something. A person has to train himself to be Dan L'Kav Zechus. We're sitting here to bring back the Beis HaMikdash. Chazal tell us that a year, a dor, a generation that the Beis HaMikdash wasn't rebuilt, it's like it was destroyed. What does it mean? In the times of the Rishonim, of Rashi, it was like there was a churban? The teretz is, many give this answer. We're constantly rebuilding the Beis HaMikdash. If you want to call it, we're adding bricks. We're constantly rebuilding. How do we rebuild? By another step, another Dan L'Kaf Schus, and yet another Dan L'Kaf Schus. That's how we rebuild. We're rebuilding by being Dan L'Kaf Schus. Reb Shmuel Birnbaum, Zechreinu Levracha, the big goy in the Rosh Hashiva in Mir Yeshiva, a masmid, he said that Yisroel Salanter, the one who started the Musar movement, people to work on themselves, his biggest focus was on Bein Adam L'Chaveroi. Let us all try and add a little more, be a bit nicer to a sibling, to a friend, include somebody that sometimes it's hard to include in a game, be nice to somebody. Sometimes you see someone's not in such a good mood, give him a smile, give him a good morning. I'm going to end with this, but I just want to point something out. It's very interesting. Tisha B'Av is the day, like we're saying now, to work on Bein Adam L'Chaveroi, and it's brought in the Shulchan Aruch that today is a day that you're not supposed to greet somebody. Isn't that so interesting? If anything, it should be the opposite. Today, there should be a bigger emphasis on greeting people. When you're supposed to work on Bein Adam L'Chaveroi, how could it be today, a day of Tisha B'Av, that you do not say hello? My father always says this vart. The reason why Tisha B'Av you do not greet, of course it's Avelis. It's because to stop for a minute, pause, and when you greet somebody tomorrow, it shouldn't just be on the natural that you're greeting somebody. When you're greeting somebody, it should be you're looking out for the person, you're smiling to the person, you're saying hello to the person. Let us all together work to be boine the Beis HaMikdash one step at a time by working achdus, encouraging a friend to include another friend, and with this we'll be zoicha to the third Beis HaMikdash with Mashiach Tzidkenu.